question. What did I have for lunch today?
A mere, what, 4 hours ago?
I had a chicken pesto sandwich at Beans.
Ooh, toasted?
Toasted.
Good choice.
Thank you.
Investment.
Mentor slash mentee.
The first one that really popped into my head was leadership.
First word or phrase I think of NUFP is socializing.
National.
I think of potential.
The first word I'd have to think of is relatable.
Well, I guess the word would be experience.
I think of laughter and joy.
Not only how do you pronounce it, but also what is it, how can I learn more?
The first word that I think of when I hear the word NUFP is opportunity.
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 Opportunity would be the first word that I think of when I think of NUFP.
Providing opportunities for students and some choice for them to take advantage of.
It's transformational. That's what it's been for me.
So the first word or phrase when I first heard the word NUFP was "Nuff said." You know.
Networking. There you go, blooper reel that.
Last year I co-taught a U-Engage class, and my co-peer leader was a graduate student in the College Student Services Admin program, and so he talked to me about getting involved with the NUFP program because he knew I was looking into going into student affairs, and so he was able to connect me with more information, and I got involved through there.
So I got involved with the NUFP program after my staff members, my resident directors and my advisor, they all pointed me towards it and they said it would be a really good opportunity for me. So I looked into it looked really interesting, and I applied and I got in. So
a few friends that would always talk about the program. I had class with them and they were always going to places, you know, all these different places, conferences, and they'd tell me that, yeah, they're going out of town and they're doing this and that, and that I should join. And so I just finally just applied one day, and that was that.
So I got involved in NUFP through Larry Roper. Actually, I took a class from him, and after the term was over, he asked, so what do you want to do, and things like that. And we met for coffee, and he said, okay, 2 things you have to do. Apply for the Promise program for that summer and to join NUFP. So that's how it happened, and I joined, and he thankfully agreed to be my mentor, and the rest is history.
I used to work at the cultural centers on campus, and I was at a work training, and someone was like, oh, did you know you can do this in your adult career? And I was like, whoa, that's so cool. I have to do this in my adult career. Okay, I didn't really say that, but I thought it sounded pretty cool. And so I contacted the person who used to be in charge of the NUFP program here, Wendy Aleman. And yeah, and so I joined the program, I got hooked up with a mentor, and so yeah, that's how I fell into the NUFP program.
I was encouraged by a coworker last year to join the NUFP program just to explore what student affairs is about. So I was like, I'll apply, and I'm in it now.
So my favorite thing about NUFP is definitely the ability to interact with like-minded undergraduate students as well as current faculty and staff.
I believe my favorite thing about the program is the mentoring piece. I think when I was in student affairs, I had a mentor, but I didn't have someone to kind of lead me and guide me in the direction I wanted to go to.
I guess it would be the amount of contact that we have with the students. I think there's lots of different types of activities built in, where there's group things and there's the class, and then there's the opportunity for us to work one-on-one with a NUFP scholar.
Probably my favorite thing is that because there is not an undergraduate major or area of study in student affairs, I think it's probably the way, or certainly a really important way for students to get some exposure to student affairs, whatever their major is.
The networking experience. I know that you're going to be meeting a lot of amazing people within this program, and these people are going to have like a bunch of experiences and like probably like have like a bunch of opportunities for like me to like explore within student affairs.
Hopefully they learn as much from me as I learn from them, because I really do see it as a two-way street, and I love just getting that insight into what their experience has been as a college student as well. So it really is that relationship that's the most important one to me.
The investment in the aspirations of others. You know, that it's an attractor to people who have a curiosity about what might be possible for their future, not necessarily certainty about what and whether student affairs is right for them, but it's an opportunity to test and verify assumptions about what student affairs work is and whether or not it might be a viable career option. And so, you know, the program I think is an attractor for aspirations, and then in return it honors those by providing an experience or opportunity for people to be able to explore.
I would say give the program a try. Like, you don't know what you don't know, and I think, so if there's any kind of hint of like, I think I might be interested, but I never even thought about this profession, I would say just take the leap of confidence.
If you're interested in like social justice or like student affairs or just like anything with maybe res life, I would definitely like recommend you to apply to this program.
Go volunteer in an office on campus or seek out a student staff position so you can try it out and see. And I think it's through trying things out that you discover what really fits for you.
So for someone who's thinking about joining NUFP, I think my advice would be do it. It's an exploration program, so it's not like, okay, like you join this program and for sure, like this is what you're going to do for the rest of your career. I think that's the beauty of this program, is it's to explore. Is this something that's a good fit for me?
Talk to people on campus who are in the program, or talk to faculty, staff who you feel supported by.
Definitely be open-minded and just really be receptive to some of the things that are being, told to you, or some advice that's being given to you as a scholar. I know for me, I was really dead set on just being a professor, and that's what I wanted to do, go through bachelor's, get my master's, and then pursue my PhD, and then go ahead and teach. And talking to Kim and talking to Melissa, who is my mentor, she was like, well, you can do both, student affairs and academic affairs.
I know that that's one of the hardest things that we do, is to figure out, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? What am I going to be when I grow up? And this is a cool way to really get into a profession in a way that you can actually make a decision, is this what I want to do?
There are students who are interested in being social justice advocates and looking at a student in a holistic view, not just from whatever field that they end up joining, but looking at the student as a whole.
I would define a NUFP Scholar as an undergraduate student who wants to get more involved with a college at some level. NUFP Scholars are very motivated, usually complicated majors like my own, or super involved on campus, multiple jobs, multiple ways they want to get involved, and want to take that one step further and meet like-minded students across the country, across the state, and occasionally across the world who also want to get involved in this really in-depth and awesome level.
I define a NUFP Scholar as an individual who is being proactive about their own learning, both inside and outside of the classroom. So the NUFP program is something that's an addition to your classroom education as a college student. And it's something that only folks who are really interested in figuring out what are their skills, what are their strengths, what are they capable of doing, not only in college but beyond.
NUFP Scholars also like to ask questions, especially with the mentoring component. Asking questions is key.
I don't know, I think NUFP Scholars are pretty cool people too in general. Like, you look at student affairs professionals, and I've always thought, student affairs professionals are really nice people, and people you can talk to about anything. And generally, people that are falling into that profession kind of are in line with that same sort of aspect. So that's kind of how I view it.
I think the first and primary responsibility with is making sure that I have an authentic, meaningful relationship with my mentee.
How sometimes people come to an experience really vulnerable. I mean, they come, they're not necessarily certain that they're the right person, or that they know enough, or that they're, maybe even the question is, am I good enough? And you just have to really care about people to really respect how they're coming to an experience.
Being candid with the students, being available with the students, providing them sort of a constant person to check in with.
Professional development, and if that's researching an article in the Chronicle, or looking at you know, a NASPA knowledge community, or whatever the case is, or going to a conference at NASPA or one of the small conferences. I think that's really important as well.
One of the things I think is important is to learn about the individual's background, the NUFP student's background.
I had a weird track record. My first NUFP student didn't go into student affairs. They like figured out the other things to do, and that student affairs wasn't necessarily what they were interested in. And that's okay. I mean, that's part of this program, is exploration.
I am planning to attend the NUFP regional and national conferences, and I am hoping to get involved with the class that they offer here winter term to learn more about higher education.
And then I've gone to 7 different conferences as a NUFP, whether it was national, regional, or some other NASPA affiliated conference.
But for now, the main things I've been looking at are the online resources we have. So there's a great resource on graduate schools and how to prep for graduate school, what you need to know before you get into it, what are the pros and cons, and just like all the different opportunities in graduate school.
I went to the Multicultural Institute over in Atlanta. That was my first time, really kind of being off the West Coast, or you know, the western part of the country. So going all the way to Atlanta, seeing a huge city was really cool, and having OSU provide that opportunity for me was great, especially getting to have conversations around multicultural services and equity and social justice and all those sorts of things.
I went to the Dungy Leadership Institute this summer, and I've gained a lot of experiences from that.
I also been lucky enough to have a NUFP internship at the University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign, where I worked with 3 departments simultaneously and got amazing professional development experience. Once again, a great opportunity you can have as a NUFP scholar. You should do it.
I've been involved with the NUFP program for 3 years, 1 as a scholar, and the last 2 years, for the last year and a half, been coordinating the program, and will continue that in my position. And I'm also the NUFP coordinator on campus.
So after leaving the NUFP program, if I decide to continue along the path, one of my career choices is to become a resident director. So being a NUFP scholar would be a huge, huge push in that direction, and a great experience.
But after I graduate with my Bachelor's of Science, I definitely want to pursue something in the field of student affairs. I'm not sure exactly what that is. I'm leaning more toward academic advising.
After I leave NUFP, I'm a little torn right now, actually. I really do want to get involved with higher education and student affairs, but I'm also really drawn right now to at-risk youth. And so I took a class last term at a juvenile center, and that was really fascinating and kind of fun. And so I know I like this age group of college and pre-college students. I'm not sure where I want to get involved with that group, whether it's at a university or doing more social work and prevention work with at-risk youth.
One community I was really involved with through my undergrad was the Greek community. And so I am currently working as the leadership advisor for the Center for Fraternity and Sorority Life. So that's my position now, and hopefully grad school.
My current plans is to apply for graduate school, focusing on student affairs, student services, and higher education.